realm of global agriculture, millet stands as a modest yet mighty grain, offering a wealth of nutritional benefits and environmental advantages. As the world grapples with the challenges of feeding a burgeoning population amidst climate uncertainty, the spotlight has increasingly turned to this resilient and versatile crop. Millet, often overlooked in favor of more mainstream staples, holds immense promise as a solution to pressing agricultural dilemmas. Its ability to thrive in diverse climates from arid regions to marginal lands makes it a lifeline for communities facing unpredictable weather patterns and soil degradation. Its minimal water and input requirements render it an environmentally friendly alternative to resource-intensive crops, embodying the essence of sustainable farming. This makes it the perfect choice in the face of the El Niño conditions in Guyana.
The National Hydromet Office stated that we'd have had an El Niño situation in the second half of the year. What we did was we decided not to plant soybean and corn. So instead of doing that, we wanted to plant a few different new crops to see how they made out in very dry conditions. So we planted three different things. We planted millet, we planted sesame seed, and we planted a brachyria species of grass. We planted the millet. We planted 530 hectares or 1,300 acres approximately, and then we planted just about 300 acres or just over 125 hectares of sesame seed. The rest of the land that we did trials on were with the grass. We really planted these crops for several reasons. One, it was a fertilizer bank, so we used it to put fertilizers on where it will not be, we will be able to use it this year. Two, we were able to use it as a ground cover to defend us against soil erosion if rain was to fall. And then the other one is the root systems of these plants are very dense. So it created a great aeration system in the soil so that whenever rain did come, instead of the water running off the surface of the land, as it slowed down in between the plants, it would penetrate vertically into the ground. And then obviously we'd have that moisture retained in the soil.
Beyond its agronomic virtues, millet boasts a nutritional profile that rivals even the most celebrated superfoods. Packed with essential nutrients including protein, fiber, and micronutrients like iron and magnesium, millet offers a wholesome dietary option for combating malnutrition and promoting overall well-being. To meet the needs of the poultry industry in Guyana, feed manufacturers import approximately US $25 million in corn and soybean annually. With the production of millet locally, it will become an ample substitute for manufacturing animal feed, thus reducing our reliance on importation.
However, these plants have great value as well. And so what happened is we know as you've seen, we were harvesting the millet and we will harvest the sesame seed too, soon in a short period of time. And what we will do with the millet, because it has very good food value, it does actually have a higher food value than corn and rice. And so therefore, we can use it in livestock feeds. So we will be using it in our livestock feed. Obviously, you know, you have to grind in a hammer mill corn and rice. You don't have to do that with the millet, right? So we're quite happy with the production. Even though we had very little water rainfall, we were able to be quite happy. We got in about 1 ton per hectare, and obviously the normal averages you want to be is about 1.8 tons per hectare. So even though we didn't get that, we got enough of it to be able for it to be used efficiently in feeds.
Here in Guyana, we have already started on an aggressive program for the production of corn and soya, and we are targeting to at least produce 75% of our local demand.
In 2021, some of the main poultry suppliers formed a consortium to create a project called Takama Gold, which will meet Guyana's soybean demands by 2026. As the project developed, it expanded to include the cultivation of millet among other crops. Currently, approximately 1,300 acres of millet have been cultivated, with harvesting in process. The millets will be stored in silos for distribution to farmers. The project is being rolled out at Sakama Ranch, located approximately 70 miles south of Georgetown along the Berbice River. To bolster agricultural output, the Takama Gold project is employing new agricultural technology. One aspect includes tractors working with auto steer or hands-free, where they are programmed to follow GPS lines across fields, meaning that no drivers are required. With Guyana advancing the agri-food systems agenda in CARICOM, government is keen on finding ways to reduce the country's and CARICOM's food imports bill.
Our project is working towards achieving, by the end of the second crop in 2025, in achieving 100% replacement of soybean meal. We can't do all, but we could do soybean meal for sure. We could do 100%, not 25, 100% replacement. Now the corn, once more farmers get involved, because the projections we're doing is based on one crop a year, because we don't know if we'll have rainfall challenges again, right? So we have to assume that if the same thing happens last year, we'll have one large crop this year, and then we probably have to do a cover crop again. The millet, even though it's very nutritious, is not as productive as corn. Corn per hectare gives you 6 tons, and millet only gives you 1.8 tons per hectare. So in terms of which one we would want to choose for us to grow to be able to create a food stuff, we would want to use the corn. But millet has great value in human nutrition as well. Like in India, they use a lot of millet.
Notably, sesame seeds were also used as a cover crop and is showing optimistic results for expansion and export.
The sesame seed has really good potential, and it grew quite well in the dry weather as well. And so our intention is to process that and try to get it to India, so as samples. And then obviously I think that, sesame seed is the one that you find on the burger bun, so in the fast food giants here in Guyana, but it's used for oils and other things. So I think that is very interesting as well. That will be harvested in another few weeks, but the main reason for these crops are not necessarily for us to plant commercially at this point. Obviously, if we see great potential, and we will, but for sure we'll use them because they grow well in dry weather as a cover crop.
The Food and Agriculture Organization has also been instrumental in supporting Guyana's ambitious agricultural agenda.
We are lucky because we've been working since we started our project. We've been able to have FAO support. So even though FAO support wasn't major, they have always been helpful to us in our trust. When we were doing our strategic plan, we did have a consultant from the FAO work with us in one of the crops. Unfortunately, that was during COVID, so he was never able to come to visit the farm physically, but we did share all the information we had, and we did get support. So I think that FAO here in Guyana, with Dr. Smith, has been doing a great job in supporting agriculture generally, and I hope that going forward we will need a lot of help from FAO in terms of creating this strategic plan for the nation, not just in grain production but in other areas and stuff like that, because it's very important as governments dream of having us become a net exporter of this type of products, that we understand what will be the things that need to be put in place for it to be achieved. Because obviously, as you could see where you went there, it looks like a lot of land, but it's not. That's only just the beginning, so you would have seen the area that you would have seen now is about just over 2,000 hectares, and for us to achieve self-sufficiency, we have to plant 11,000 hectares once a year. So that's still a small percentage of what we need to do.
Government will soon embark on a joint effort which will see students from the Guyana School of Agriculture benefiting from training exercises at both the Dubélé Ranch and the Takama site. Once at full capacity, more employment opportunities will be generated within the area that will ultimately transform the agricultural landscape of Guyana.